Hi, I'm Marian Serena and welcome to my new channel. My channel about painting and living life creatively. I'll talk more about living creatively, I think, in my next video. Right now I'm focusing on learning how to create these videos, and I'm doing that by showing you some paintings that I'm working on. And so I continued from last episode into this episode working on this little painting. And my goal for this session for me is to learn how to create a fast forward version of the video. So I could give you a long version for those who like that, and a short version for those people who really prefer that. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Hi, I'm back for another short session of painting. I think when you first develop new habits, it's a bit rough going at the beginning. I wanted to do this earlier today, but then things came up. So I'm going to do just a bit of painting today, and then I'll continue tomorrow. But at least I'm painting daily, and that was my goal, is to paint daily. So it's not perfect by any means, but at least I'm doing it. So that's good. Right, so I think I'm going to work on the sky a bit, because the sky got totally lost in transit. There you can see there used to be a blue sky there. Maybe you can't see that, but there used to be a blue sky there. So I'm just going to use the same blue as yesterday, which was phthalo blue. Mix it with some white. Just move this over in case you can't see it. Now blue is what I call a strong color, meaning that you need less of it than the color you're mixing it with. The nice thing about oil paints is they, unlike acrylic, they don't dry out right away. If this was acrylic paint, all of this would be completely dry within about an hour or two. Let's see. Move this over a bit. I'm just going to hold this. It's very thin layer. The nice thing about it being so thin is it will dry faster than if it were a thick paint, meaning that by tomorrow I can easily paint over top of it for the edges of this old castle, the ruins of a castle. It's probably not even a castle, I think it was a fortress. And because I have so much solvent in it, dissolves a little bit of the green that I laid down yesterday. But I'm not going to worry about that, because as I mentioned, you paint in layers, or at least I do. A little bit of blue down there. I'm looking at my reference photo on the side here on my laptop. I might just add a bit of whiter, just to give an idea of clouds, but I will do the clouds later. There we go. Okay, I think that's good enough for that. There, so now we have a bit of blue. Maybe you can see it better like that. Now I'm going to add some darkness to those trees I was working on yesterday. I don't like using black. I like mixing my own black. And I often will take burnt umber or raw umber, depending on the tone that I'm going for. I just like doing experiments and seeing what it looks like. Now this is going to be shadow inside of my trees. So I don't want it to be pure blue. I get a bit of this yellow. And browner in parts. All right. So some is a bit greener, some is a bit browner. And let me look at my reference. And I'm also going to build up the shadow on the side of this building a little less thick. So a good idea. And as I'm looking, this building actually goes back a bit further. So we can just add that on. So you can paint negative space or positive space when you're, the way I'm looking at it right now, I just want to get the edge of the building. And now I'm looking at the bushes a little bit thinner. These tree branches go up into it a lot more like this. And then there's always shadow. I think I'm going to grab some of this green, make it a bit greenier. There's shadow underneath of branches, so I'm just kind of dabbing shadows in. And then that creates the shapes that you see in a tree. So the shadow shows you kind of the shapes made by the branches. That's probably good enough for now for that. Now I'm going to just add more green on top. The branches look like blobs to me right now. And there's lots of little branches in there, so they reflect light in different ways. Kind of like little dots. The more you paint an image, the more detail you start to see. That should have a bit of white in it. As you're painting, you can't just perceive everything at once. It's too much to look at. So as you paint, you notice more details. And I'm just trying to get the gist of what these plants look like. There's a branch sticking out there. Now, let's see, which green will I use? Let's use a bit of this. Mixed with that. This is going to be some of the light reflecting on top of the branches. And after I do this for a bit, I'm just going to leave it. I can always go back to it later if I think adds a bit of dimension to that tree. Okay, I have to get good at this filming because I'm not quite 100% sure what you're seeing through the camera. I did look before I started, but I'm not sure anymore. Okay, so this tree in the background also needs some dark in it. This was quite a sunny day, so the shadows were quite strong. And a little more green. This is a less distinctive group of bushes because it's more in the background. I think that's good enough for now. And that comes right up to the edge of that building. There we go. Maybe I'll work on this foreground a bit. It's kind of nice to keep your whole painting going up to the same level of development instead of having, I mean, unless you're doing super detailed work in one spot, instead of having, like this is hardly painted at all. The rest has more paint on it. So let's see. Okay, I think I'll use some yellow ochre. This is an earthy toned yellow because I'm going to do some grass at the bottom. But this grass has a lot of light on it and it's been dried out by the sun. There's even a bit of reddish in it. Which this burnt umber can give me a bit of reddish. Or I might end up using red. Well, let me see what it looks like when I mix it. Just these little streaks of grassy patch. There's a little bit too much blue in my brush from before. And that grass kind of goes at a slight angle. So I find the way I paint anyway is I just put, because I paint, I keep building it up in layers. I do sort of rough things first. I could put more details in later. When I work on the whole painting at once, it helps me find where I am in the image, because you can easily get lost, like, am I here, am I there, and does it line up with this, or should it be more this way? So I like building it up as I go, because as I said before, the more you paint, the more you see, the more you paint on the image you're working on. So there's kind of this stuff. Just going to put in grass, 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 grass. You can see it's pretty thin paint that I'm applying. I'm not doing like big, thick strokes like this. Because if I start doing that, I have to look at it in a different way. Right now I just want to get the basics down. And there's a dark shadow of a tree that I'm just going to add in here, because it just gives it a little contrast in one spot. It's a bit bumpy because it's a shadow on a grass. Now I'm going to go back into some darks in here. This is a bush with a lot of shadow. Now let's see, where else do I need dark in here? I have to make sure that your buildings don't start looking like they're falling down. I mean, this one has fallen down, but you don't want the horizontal, the vertical, to look like it's slanting over. More shadow in here behind this grassy patch. See, and then I'll put the grass back on top, and I'll put a lot of the leaves of the plant back on top, and I want this to be darker brown. It's kind of a mix and match approach to painting, I guess. A little bit of this, a little of that, more of this, more of that. Okay. Then later I'm going to add more of this sage green that I had before, which will give more of like the cloud-like effect of these olive trees. There's little sticks of grass that stick up, but I'll add those later. Okay, I think I'll leave that for now and work on it again tomorrow. Finding dry spots to hold it. Okay, I'll just go like this. there. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hi guys, just a few notes to add at the end here. So what I'm learning today, these are a few things that I'm learning. By the way, when I keep looking to this side over here, well, it's the other way on the other side, I'm looking at my reference image, and it's important to do that quite a lot when you're painting to get a realistic, or to get a good feel for your subject. So here's some things that I want to learn next is how to get some close-ups, because I think that would be more interesting for you. I did learn how to speed up sections, so now I'm tired because of course I always do this late at night, and so I don't think I'm going to speed up the rest because I sped up several sections and then I see, I'm tired. What did I do? Then I deleted a bunch. You're lucky. I learned how to add some music in the middle of my video, but I still hear my sped up little chipmunk voice underneath some of that music. But anyway, I'll figure out how to do that. Another point that I noted was I should have probably a whiter or cleaner background underneath my paintings so it's not so much visual distraction. And then I realized today, just like I'm holding my camera looking at me now, I can prop it up over here on my stack of books, etc., so that I can tell when I'm filming. Isn't that a brilliant idea? Absolutely amazing. Okay, I'll try that for next video. Thank you so much for watching. As they say in these things, like and subscribe. Oh my gosh, I'm a YouTuber. Bye.